Hey guys, here in a nutshell with me, Ina. Nako, nabalitaan niyo na ba ito? Itong storya ng mga universities and colleges dito sa Canada na nagsasabi basically na talagang ramdam na nila yung epekto ng policy changes patungkol sa international student program dito sa Canada. For those who might be unaware, I'm gonna give a little brief background. Basically, yung gobyerno ng Canada naglagay ng cap, nilimitahan, binawasan yung bilang na mga student visa, student permits na aprubahan nila for 2024 and 2025. So that's initially a 2-year period na nag-set sila ng caps. Now for 2024, ang sabi ng gobyerno ng Canada, matapos silang mag-announce ng mga kung ilan lang per province yung aaprubahan ng mga student permits, sabi nila it will result in a 35% decrease sa bilang ng mga enrollees. But now, Universities Canada, isa po yung organisasyon ng mga universities, colleges, educational institutions here in Canada, the group is saying na 45% ang ibinaba ng kanilang enrollment. Ang laki, no? So obviously, it's bigger than what the government thought. At pangalawa, that's almost half, At ngayon, itong Universities of Canada, they started talking about what or how the policy changes could negatively impact yung sector nila, not just now, but in the future. At pangalawa, nananawagan na sila ngayon pa lang sa gobyerno ng Canada na wag nang dagdagan yung paghihigpit sa international students at lalong wag na raw pang dagdagan yung cap. Kasi may bali-balita, that more changes are coming or could be coming for the international student program. So, sige, puntahan na muna natin itong report na ito.
Lobby groups for post-secondary institutions say universities had a 45% drop in international student enrollment this year. And at colleges, it was a 54% decline. That's above the 35% cut the federal government implemented earlier this year.
What this does come into a question of is how do Canadians want to fund the high-quality post-secondary system?
Universities and colleges have increasingly turned to international students to help with that funding. At Queen's University in Kingston, a Canadian student would pay just over $7,500 for a year's tuition. An international student pays nearly $57,000. The same situation at Fanshawe College in London, Ontario. International students pay 345% more compared to Canadian students.
Oh, wow. Nakita niyo yung difference? Oh, wow. Yung isang unang example, from a tuition fee for domestic students na 7,500. For international students, almost 57,000. Oh, wow. Ang laki ng difference. Ano ba yan? Pero kita nyo, dito pa lang sa first part ng report. I already get a sense na talagang itong mga international students for colleges and universities, talagang pera ang tingin nila sa mga international students, laki nga naman kasi ng kita nila from international students. So yung unang soundbite doon, it also puts into question yung issue of funding for educational institutions. Kasi a long time ago when I would read about the international student program, one reason why colleges and universities have somewhat become dependent sa kinikita nila from international students is because for a long time, they've been trying to get more funding from the government pero hindi sila napagbibigyan. Parang ganun, So now, they've found a way to earn from international students. Wow. And of course, iba pa yung issue ng economic contribution. So, impact din ng international students dito sa Canada. Maliban sa nagbabayad sila sa tuition, by the way, syempre gumagastos din sila dito. They also, some of them work, many of them work, and also pay taxes. So they help spur economic activity. Okay, sige, puntahan. Balikan natin ulit yung report.
It really does pose an almost existential financial risk for Canada's universities.
But post-secondary institutions have often ignored the financial risks for the communities they're in. A report from the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation notes that in most major urban centres, the increase in international students has contributed to higher rents and the lowest vacancy rates since 1988, and many post-secondary institutions have not helped with that situation. Like in Vancouver, where the University of British Columbia and Simon Fraser University had 23,600 international students enrolled in 2023, but both schools only have 16,500 student beds between them, an additional strain to Canada's most expensive housing market.
Eh, tignan nyo, no? Isa yan, I think, sa mga issues na nire-raise sa mga colleges. Ang laki-laki ng tuition na sinisingil na sa international students. The least they can do is, make sure na yung mga tinatanggap na lang international students, may sapat na housing, diba? Decent housing. Bakit nila, wag naman sana nilang pabayaan yung mga estudyante na dumadayo pa dito sa Canada, tapos hindi nila alam kung saan titira. Diba? Hirap na hirap maghanap ng affordable and decent housing. Diba? Pero I don't think that's for all colleges. In fairness, there are, I believe, some universities and colleges that provide decent housing sa mga estudyante. But I don't think lahat.
But despite the housing concerns, the universities still want more international students with fewer rules about what they're allowed to do while here.
No more restrictions on their work permits, no more restrictions on graduate students, and don't make any more changes to the cap.
A more permanent international student cap could be announced as soon as November, Neithu, when the Liberals put forward immigration targets for the coming years, and the Prime Minister has already signaled broad-based immigration cuts are likely to be included.
Oh, so grabe yan, no? Ngayon nagde-demand sila na wag nang bigyan ng restrictions yung work permits ng mga estudyante. Pati yung mga, yung mga work hours pala ng mga estudyante. Pati yung post-graduation work permit. At wag na rin daw sana pa dagdagan yung cap. What do you think about that? What do you think about that? Sa totoo lang wala. I'm just here to raise questions and start a conversation. Kasi I see both good and bad dito sa paghihigpit sa international student program. Obviously, I think some changes need to be done to help improve the quality of students and to help, in the end, give them, a better chance of life in Canada sa mga gustong maging permanent residency. But then, again, isa pang mainit na issue yan dahil nga ayaw din talaga ipagamit ng maraming mga Canadians itong international student para maging pathway to permanent residency. Many see it as a backdoor entry to Canada. Diba? It wasn't meant po kasi talaga to be that way, na maging pathway to permanent residency. Ideally, ang gusto ng mga Canadians makita, tumatanggap yung mga colleges and universities sa mga estudyante at pagkatapos, uwi na. Okay, uwi na. In the same way, hindi ko rin naman din masisi itong mga international students na makitaan ng pagkakataon yung programa. Diba? The program does allow some of them to become permanent residents. Diba? So siguro, I may be for changes. Siguro, what I want are for the changes to really help produce quality students who will integrate well into the Canadian culture and society for those who might want to become permanent residency. Kasi kung yun bang nangyayari ngayon, I don't know. I don't know. Puntahan natin din itong isang article na ito. No? It also discusses the same issue. Pero may isang part discussing yung impacts ng policy changes sa mga educational institutions here in Canada. Ayan, this one. Ito mo itong sub-headline na ito. Loss of international students impacts schools' ability to deliver. Okay. Sabi daw nung ni Miller, isa itong opisyal ng Universities Canada. Universities Canada is concerned over the impact the cap could have on future enrollment, saying international students are a huge asset to schools. He said they enrich the educational experience as well as contribute funds to provide education to Canadians and are economic contributors to the country. Tapos, the collateral damage ng cap daw is going to hurt our ability to compete for the people we wanted to keep and the people we need to attract in the future to our universities. Anong say nyo dun, guys? I'm curious about your thoughts tungkol dyan. Yeah, I think there's a good side, of course, to having an international student program. Talagang hindi mo lang din masisi yung negative reaction dito sa pagdagsa ng mga international students. Tapos nagiging para maging permanent resident. Siguro, no? Kasi nga, maririnig mo din yung mga abusadong mga agents na gumamit ng international student pathway to lure these students. Diba? Many of them were given false promises. You can't blame them. You know, many of them are trying to get out from their lives. Kung saan man yan, Pilipinas, saan man silang bansang galing, diba? So, yeah, I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. May isa pa akong actually tanong eh. Yung mga nabawasan kaya ng enrollees, yung mga rather, affected dyan sa policy changes, sino ba itong mga colleges na ito? Baka naman ito yung mga colleges na bigla na lang nagsulputan para talagang pagkakitaan lang itong international students na to. Kasi if that's the case, sa totoo lang, baka okay na rin yun. Babawasan ng negosyo itong mga abusadong educational institutions sa tanggap ng mga international students, not providing them with quality, courses or programs that will equip them with the right skills na kailangan ng Canada. Alam mo yun, kasi marami mga ganun yung mga tinatawag daw na mga diploma mills, di ba? Talagang tanggap ng tanggap, issue ng diploma, sige, para lang kumita ng pera. Yeah. But again, I don't want to generalize na ganun lahat ng universities because I do believe there are legitimate international student programs, given by the bigger, I guess, more established universities here in Canada. Sa totoo lang, hindi po pala din, speaking of, hindi lahat nakakita ng pagbaba sa bilang ng enrollees pagkatapos mag-announce ng cap ng gobyerno ng Canada. For example, ito, I will share with you this article. Isang sikat din na destinasyon ng mga Filipino international students. Nakita ko tong article na ito. Enrollment is up at the Red Deer Polytechnic, including more international students. O, diba? Red Deer, dyan po yan sa Alberta, Canada. O, imbis na mabawasan ng kanilang enrollees, up pa rin, tumaas pa rin ng 7% ang student enrollment dyan sa Red Deer. O, diba? Sabi, the local learning institution is also gaining international students despite a federal enrollment cap bucking a national trend. Ang sabi ng isang opisyal ng Red Deer Polytechnic, the federal enrollment cap hasn't affected RDP because the institution has long favored more sustainable growth in this area to ensure the number of foreign students accepted into programs doesn't outstrip available housing and other supports. Exactly. Diba? Sinasabi nito, they help ensure sustainable yung programa nila for international students. Dahil hindi sila tanggap daw ng tanggap, at they make sure na may available housing and other supports for their students. O, diba? Sana ganun lahat, ano? Ito, tignan nyo ito. Red Deer Polytechnic continues to be popular with learners from the Philippines, Southeast Asia, and South America because it has a relatively large amount of on-campus housing units available. O, diba? Yun nga yung sinasabi ko kanina, diba? So, ayun. So, what do you guys think about this? Please put your thoughts in the comment section. Do you want to see more changes or tighter measures pa dito sa international student program? Alam ko marami, no? Kasi nga ayaw nilang gawing backdoor way ito to permanent residency. If people daw want, and that's totally understandable. By the way, no? Tulad ng sinabi ko kanina, may nauna na po kasi mga report that there could be more changes to the international student program. Maliban dun sa pag-set ng cap, yung isa pang in-implement, pinagbawal na po yung pagdadala ng asawa ng mga international students. And also, hindi na po lahat ay bibigyan ng post-graduation work permit. Okay, depende na po yan kung saang university kayo. Ang isa sa posible na pa daw gawin, okay, based dun sa mga reports, dahil nagpa-survey ang gobyerno ng Canada sa mga probinsya, tungkol sa International Student Pathway, isa sa mga tinatanong sa survey na yun, o tinanong sa survey na yun, is if susuportahan ba nila yung idea na ang pagbibigyan na lang ng post-graduation work permit ay, kumbaga ililimit lang pala rather, yung pagbibigyan ng post-graduation work permit. Depende sa kung anong course, depende sa kung ano ang in-demand doon sa probinsya kung saan nag-aaral ang estudyante. Posible lang po yan wala pa dyan. So isa po yan sa inaabangan dito sa Canada. And other potential changes, we don't know if the cap will be adjusted, babawasan ba ng husto pa, or baka stay, I don't know. So yeah, tell me your thoughts. I'll just end this here. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!